back to another episode of Crossing the Line. With all the news about the doom and gloom of us going ever closer to World War III, mass killings all across the world of all terrible things, we have some fantastic news and some good news to brighten your day. UCLA students issue demands for vegan and gluten-free food and some supplies. Now, if you're unaware of what's going on college campuses across the United States, I don't blame you. It's a very boring story, and it's just another day there in the US. Basically, UCLA the other day had a massive outbreak of far left extremists and pro-Palestine protesters take over several buildings, including a library, and stage massive protests. Now, they have come out with a list of demands, and we'll see later on how that goes for them. I don't think these leftist protesters and Hamas supporters fared too well at the end of the day. But they've only got themselves to thank for it. So now stick around. We'll have a look at some videos of these pro-Palestine protesters and lefty vegans getting their ass handed to them by the local police and by local... let's just call them good old boys. Some UCLA students have stood up and said they've had enough of this and rescued the United States flag that was being flown there from hitting the ground and removed Palestinian protesters and had a bit of a war game scenario turn out with them. But we'll have a look at this story from CNR News. UCLA students demand for vegan and gluten-free food and supplies. Pro-Palestinian anti-Israel protesters at the University of California, Los Angeles released this list of demands amidst their ongoing demonstrations and Gaza encampment on campus. The list obtained by Fox News' Bill Milligan was published in Google document released by local Students for Justice in Palestine chapter. Protests demand that their requests be compliant with the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, which is pro-Palestinian effort seeking the divestment of economic connections to Israel. According to the document, protesters requested urgent need for headlamps, airsoft goggles, gas masks, respirators, skater helmets, shields, wood for the barriers, knee and elbow pads, rain ponchos, canopies, utility gloves without reinforced knuckles, super bright flashlights with strobe and umbrellas. Demonstrators also requested medical equipment such as EpiPens, non-steroid inhalers, headlamps, and organizational bins. These kids are LARPing at playing war. If these police actually did their jobs properly, in Portland, we obviously know they don't. In LA, they're not doing it either. If they took these protests, they're not even protesters, they're rioting at this point. If this was far-right people, this was, say, MAGA doing this to any building, a post office, let alone a college or, say, a government building, this would be plastered all over the media, mainstream media, all over the internet as, like, massive right-wing protesters, and they're trying to turn over the government, or, you know, whatever their agenda would be. It would be all throughout mainstream media saying that these people are, you know, evil, racists, or whatever. But no, just because these kids are leftist commies, they get away with it. Now, you see this tweet here. New Fox News has obtained Google Doc with a list of needs the protesters are requesting: vegan and gluten-free food, super bright flashlights, ropes and zip ties. What are they getting up to? Something kinky in there. Helmets, shields, and wood. Lotion? No. Sunscreen. Okay, they're definitely getting up to something kinky in there. You have a look at some of these things here. Headlamps, airsoft goggles, wood, flashlight, umbrellas, EpiPens. Now, in the US, I think EpiPens are a couple of $100, so I don't know who they expect to just give this to them. Food. Vegan food. Food for lunch. Important. Very important. Included in their request were demands for specific food, including vegan and gluten-free options, though your documents specify protesters do not want pre-packaged food, coffee, bagels, bananas, or any food containing nuts. So you can defeat these protesters with bananas and nuts. Things that none of them have. Demonstrators also requested other aid, including sleeping bags, various sizes, batteries, rope, zip ties, electrical, solar-powered generators, lotion, and aquifer. Documents of specified protesters did not want sunscreen. They don't want sunscreen. Protesters at UCLA devolved into riots over the last 2 nights of pro-Israel faction class with pro-Palestinian demonstrators. The anti-Israel protesters at UCLA had a press conference where they said they were the victims of life-threatening assaults at the hands of Zionists. If you're going to sit there and take over a building and destroy the building in the process and sit there and pretend that you're victims of something, you're a victim of your own stupidity at that point. Following the last night's riots, demonstrators issued further demands of the university involving the investment of economic connection to Israel with full disclosure and transparency of the university's finances. Withdraw all UC-wide UCLA Foundation funds from companies and institutions that are complicit with the Israeli occupation, apartheid, and genocide of the Palestinian people. The new demands read, provide full transparency all UC-wide and UCLA Foundation assets, including investments, donations, and grants. So basically, if you've donated or you're involved with Israel in any way, they want you to divest from that and stop giving them money. Protesters also demanded the abolishment of police. Yes. Well, I can agree with them on that. The police here did sweet fuck all. End of the targeted repression of policing, pro-Palestinian advocacy on campus, and several ties with the LAPD. The demands concluded. LAPD dispersed UCLA's Gaza encampment early this morning, leading the arrest of 100 students and other agitators. Now, these students were promptly let out with basically nothing done to them. The best justice we can get for these people is getting them pepper sprayed, shot at, and beaten by police. That's the only justice they're going to get. And, I mean, you just look at the disgusting mess these people leave behind. Have a look at this video. You can see it there. The amount of... It's disgusting. I mean, they call themselves, lefties and commies and whatever they want. But they also call themselves greenies and pro, whatever Greta's pushing out these days, and there's an awful lot of plastic and an awful lot of rubbish left behind. These are disgusting children that have just destroyed this entire campus, and they're pretending that they're the victims here. Now, see people going around cleaning it up. They're destroying their own homes at this point. Over 1,000 were reportedly in attendance at last night's riot. UCLA riots followed Monday night's riots at Columbia University, where all this started, as agitators seized and occupied Hamilton Hall on campus. Following morning, university spokesperson Ben Chang announced students participating in the siege of the building would face expulsion, while others involved will be suspended. You should expel all of them. Take the money they've given you, expel them all, and... yeah, it sucks to be them. You don't get to destroy massive amounts of property on campus just because you're so-called protesting. Something that you know nothing about and that you honestly don't care about. This is just the flavour of the month. Protesters have chosen to escalate to an untenable situation, vandalising property, breaking doors and windows, and blockading entrances. We are following through with the consequences we outlined yesterday, Chang wrote in a statement. Students occupying a building face expulsion, as they should. Now, we have seen some entertaining things coming out of this. We've got right-wing MAGA boys, I don't know what you want to call them, pro-American counter-protesters blasting Born in the USA, which isn't the best song for it, but, it's kind of patriotic for a bit anyway. You've give it the meaning you want to give it, I suppose. But you can see these guys here waving American flags on campuses across the United States, and they are fighting back. And you see here that these guys are waving American flags, protesting for pro-America in colleges across the United States. This is something that needs to happen. This is something that we've been waiting for, some actual kickback against these commies, against these leftist crazies and vegan-loving retards that populate the left and the Democrats. See, these are the good old boys that held up the American flag and defended it from these protesters and commie pigs. You can see how upset they are there in the background that the American flag's being hoisted back up to where it should be. And by all rights, these guys have done a great job. Chads, good on yous. Now, people are raising a lot of money for these kids, and they are going to be getting a lot of good attention, and hopefully someone will pay for their college tuition here. So you can see just how many people here in the background. Yeah, look, it really upset the crowd. You can see him singing it. Star Spangled Banner there or whatever it is. Now, this is the scenes from the night before on UCLA. The rioting, police shooting at them with rubber bullets and foam beanbag rounds.
Here now, but again, some.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Gina,
this is so dangerous. Again, they're shooting rubber bullets, but I can tell you from doing stories about rubber bullets, they are extremely painful. If they hit your leg, your arm, they could break your arm. But
now, this is what the left fears is repercussions of their own stupidity and actions, and they call for the demolishing the police. They call for getting rid of the police, but then when they want them, they are screaming for them to be protected by the police. Now, the only thing protecting these kids is some rubbish bins and stuff. Apparently, it doesn't help with rubber bullets and big bang guns because they'll go straight through that and smack the absolute shit out of you. So it's fantastic to see. I mean, you look at this. Look at this. They're LARPing. Look at umbrellas against rubber bullets. It's entertaining. You can see this tweet here from Dr. Eli David. The jokes are writing themselves. A group of woke students at UCLA converted to Islam on the spot, and they're praying on campus. These children are in a cult. I mean, look at them all. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're talking about. They are brainwashed by the fucking leftists online and by mainstream media. And it's good to finally see some people fighting back against them. Now, these lefty commies are just going to be let out of prison, let out of jail immediately. They won't have any long-term repercussions unless they've got some extra brain damage from a beanbag round or anything like that. But that'd be the most of it, I'd say. The pushback finally happening is fantastic, and it's long awaited. It's going to only get worse as the year goes on. We get closer to an election in the United States with Trump and Biden being pitted against each other and no actual third party or anything like that, as much like here in the Australia. It's only ever two parties, the uniparty, and Trump is the anti-uniparty runner, I'd say. Like, he is technically running as a Republican, but at the end of the day, Republicans have stabbed him in the back just as much as the Democrats have. And it's going to be interesting to see how this devolves. I mean, devolves into chaos or civil war over there in the US. Whether Trump wins or loses, there's going to be some very unhappy people, especially if Trump wins. We all see that the leftists love using violence to get to their ends, and the right wingers don't, really, as a mass. So it's good to actually see right wing people or people who are just pro American come out and stand up for their rights, stand up for their flag, and stand up for their country, because they are losing their country at this point. I mean, if you can't even go to a college campus without being attacked and pepper sprayed by pro-Palestinian terrorists and Hamas supporters, especially if you're a Jew, you can't do any of those things now. That is insanity, and it's being condoned by the government and being condoned by the police, and the local law enforcement is just letting them get away with it. And apparently not anymore. Hopefully this is these protests are shut down. These terrorists are charged with the offenses that they've committed, and they do go and see jail time, or at least they are expelled or banned from campuses and stuff like that. These are left-wing commie protesters that don't actually care about what they're protesting for. It's just a flavor of the week for them, flavor of the month, and they just really, their heart's not in it. Their heart isn't in it. They are just protesting because they got told to. You ask any of these kids what they're protesting for, and they have no idea. And you can see just how proud and smug they are on TV, but when they get unmasked and their face is shown, poor little things, their heart's broken, and they just don't know what to do about it. Now, I'm going to watch this hilarious clip here. These protesters, or I think this is a better video here. They're LARPing. what do they think they are? Like Roman soldiers charging into the lines of police, trying to get away. I mean, they've never been in a fight in their life. They might as well be throwing beanbags at the police, casting spells at them or something. It's hysterical. These kids need to be put in jail. The parents need to be put in jail for raising these stupid children. I mean, letting them get away with things like that. I mean, listen to this. The autistic screeching of these commies is hilarious to watch. This, I think I might make that my new ringtone. That's hilarious. Then what do you do? Well, you attack police and you get arrested. That's what they're doing. They attack police and they get arrested. So hopefully they charge these kids with whatever the assault and I'd say acts of terrorism in some cases. Portland police are obviously barely ever do their job anyway. That's why these things have gotten so bad. I mean, you look at the state of these buildings and look at it. They've trashed it and they've just let them do it. And they've built these little communities of communism and pro-Palestine and leftist propaganda, whatever they're going for. And they've built these little communities and they've festered and they've grown into these things that they're fighting now. Now, it is their own fault that has got this bag for ignoring the problem for so long. You can't just take over buildings, burn shit down, attack Jews in the street, spit on people, burn flags, torch cars. I think it was like 15 Portland police cars burnt down that same day. So you can't just let them do that and get away with it for so long. Now these kids will be back doing it again at the next event or the next thing anyway, because their parents haven't actually been real parents. I mean, look, they just let half of them get away. They got one dude and they let the others get away. It's ridiculous. So it's a monster of their own making, but hopefully some of these kids learn their lessons and wake up to themselves. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode.
USA! 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 Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.